Alright, we're back with the third attempt to record round two of me versus Ceefar. We're having some instability issues on Ceefar's end, but we're giving it a red hot crack. I'm of course going with a slight meme build, the Druid's Euny build, making good use of the biggest edition that Definitive Edition gave us. Interestingly, there is a difference between Euny's hero power and Druids, although they do act very similarly. That being that Euny, if the power pushes them above their starting amount of charge, their starting turns charging, then they get reverted as if they were hit by a sorcerer, back to idle. We've gone with archers, of course, to go with the best link making conditions to really make as much use of that artifact as we can. Don't mind the starting board. I mean, we've got a druid off the bat. It's not necessarily in line with anything important, but it is like our primary way of dealing damage, so looking forward to that. And that early Pit Fiend is a little bit scary, but we can manage. Gonna get a good amount of mana here to start. 2 links off that one move. Get this druid charging. Prepare for as many links as possible. Yeah. Unfortunately, that link on the right there is going to die to those hounds, but we will still get the mana and it will reduce the amount of damage, the chip damage that we take, so that's always good. This pushes the druid up, which we will be able to use to delay that Pit Fiend. Hopefully we get a good call and we're able to get some links, but we've got 1 turn. I was going to say we've got a couple turns. That's going to tick down when it passes back to me. Already have about a third of our spell meter, which is a very good place to start. Okay. Hitting for 12, nothing crazy, but not nothing as well. Can we get a link? The question, how do I excavate a yellow? I'm not sure that I can. That's really quite unlucky. I can, actually, if I delete here. There we are. Alright, I think we'll get a 3-turn delay on that Pit Fiend. Importantly, they only have a set amount of power that they gain, and so by delaying them, you don't give them more time to recharge. They just take longer, which is one of the few advantages that this strategy actually gets. Played by 3 turns there. Yep, for 7. Okay. Now we're going to need to be planning for when this Pit Fiend does go up. It does also throw off links, which I always forget, but it is super useful. They get to keep the mana from making those links, of course, but they don't get actual power benefit on it. I'm going to be moving that unicorn just so that we can there to deal with it, and we're going to excavate that druid next turn. Just so that we can be prepared to get that in place for the Pit Fiend that's just been charged. Not a terrible call, not a terrible call at all. Get for 1 there, not that matters too much. Now that Pit Fiend is going to be coming to us pretty quickly. Unfortunately, those hounds on the far right have made this link no longer super viable. So what I believe we're going to do is we're going to start preparing this unicorn to link with this druid, which we can do because we've got the turn stagger between these two pit fiends. We're going to do something like this. So get that in place. Next turn we'll move that and do that. And we're going to... we're going to prepare for the link on the left side. Two links on that Pit Fiend, even with the damage that it sustained, is a little bit scary. But with a unicorn there, with one fully charged wall, it's not over, at the very least. 3 links, I should say. That's a little terrifying. So what we're going to do... think very deeply what I'm about to do. Need to get this... So that goes there. There. Complete this, pull this. That's, yes, no, I did think that out. Fully, that's all good. We can get that unicorn in its current column charging a little extra defense against that Pit Fiend, which might be necessary, quite frankly. Alright, we get that third link going. Okay, let's see what happens here. Yeah, 12 is completely fine. Gives us that power, which is actually really nice to have. Unfortunately, it does remove one of the links, so that Pit Fiend is only going to get delayed by 3 instead of the 4 that we did have going. But look, 3 is still a big enough delay that I'm happy. Do need to be mindful of how many units we lose here, because while we have plenty of druids, our unicorns are a little more precious, and we did just lose 40% of them. So we need to be a little bit careful. Oh, my darling cat has just woken up from his nap. There's the delay. I could use the hero spell to deform that Pit Fiend right now, but I would rather save it for when it has multiple targets because it does hit board wide. We are really just going to bully that Pit Fiend. It's never going to get to touch. I think we're going to set this druid up just as a little bit of chip damage and as a way to block those hellhounds. Just clear that burning wreckage just so that it's less in the way. Didn't have anything particularly great to do with that turn. Right. Delayed by 4 turns. Oh, that feels mean. Okay. We can start preparing this druid to deal with that pit fiend. Forward a little bit. Yeah, okay. No links on that druid, so it's really not going to do much. It'll do like a couple points of chip damage if it does anything, but look, a couple points is better than nothing. Literally a couple points, just 2 damage. All there. Just a couple of attacks to throw out some chip damage down the sides. Pit Fiend formed as expected. Demon Portal to block a single archer is an interesting play. I certainly won't complain about it. Yay. We're gonna hit the hero power here. And we're going to almost certainly kill that purple pit fiend. Nice. I would really like to get another link. And I can. Fantastic. The unfortunate downside of this strategy being sort of one of the new ones introduced by Definitive Edition actually adding Euny is it's a little slow. And by that I mean it is slow as a glacier, which is not everyone's cup of tea. No damage got through. Fortunate. So that Pit Fiend has capped out at 76, which is... What is that? That's 39 less than a Pit Fiend's normal maximum, 115. No, that was from the TS version, 115. 105, I should say. So, with a couple links, I'd predict it can hit maybe 130. Which is still a threat, but with the walls that I have there already, once they're fully grown, we'll be at 72 to defend. And we can throw out some extra blockage in the meantime. Throw out a little bit of damage. I completely misplayed that, no link for me. That's okay. I have flooded my board with walls, which is a little bit unfortunate, I do have to say. Shouldn't have done that, thinking about it, but we adapt as best we can. Again, I'm really not too concerned about what that pit fiend can do, even with a few links, so I'm just going to focus on continuing to attack. It'll actually be kind of nice to have those walls peeled out. Ceefar is, of course, reliant on a good call here, and not the worst call in the world. Particularly, I mean, they'll get a link, they'll get some free turns, they'll get some mana, but, you know, it's nothing crazy. I always thought the portraits look a little bit odd. If you look at Euny, sort of what would be his right arm, the left of the portrait there, that small patch of sort of brown framing, he looks like he's climbing out of a hole in reality, and it's unusual. I don't know how to feel about it. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable. I mean, Euny as a whole makes me a little bit. I mean, look at that guy. That doesn't look like the kind of person that you trust with much. You ask Euny, sorry, if Euny asks you for like $5, you're never getting it back. Like, if you ask Euny for $5, you're not getting $5. You're getting an old druid's tale about why it's okay to not give you $5. I'm going to take this opportunity to clear my board a little bit, actually, to prepare for a big call after that pit fiend goes off. One link pushes it to 86, so I think I'm going to be taking 14 here. 17. Can't do numbers, apparently. Perhaps one of those walls wasn't full. That one burning bit of rubble is really quite annoying. I'm going to have to do that before this call. That's okay. The 2 delay on that freshly charged board there is really nice. Alright, now we've got a bit of an open board. No druids, which is unfortunate, but they'll be back. Everyone needs a holiday. Really more than one, but alas. I think it is important to point out that even after all the shenanigans we've been going through, after all the strategizing and delaying, we are still losing.
Yeah, I think that's right.
My darling girlfriend just off camera made the observation that my strategy looks like losing slowly. I'm not sure how to feel about it.
I mean, what is your win condition?
I do damage.
But you don't, though.
I do a very small amount of damage. The condition is If I win, I go, hooray. It would be noted at this point that of the Clash matches that I've recorded, this is now the longest by, I think, maybe 7 minutes? Yeah. Buckle in, folks. We're here for the long ride.
I'm praying for your downfall.
What? What the fuck?
Don't pick stall next time.
Folks, she hates me.
No one's gonna watch the game because it's us.
For those wondering, I am in fact blinking SOS, but I do not have a face camera. So I thought I should say that out loud, just to let everyone know. Oh, oh, look at that damage. If I die by hellhounds, this is going to be real embarrassing.
Hit it, dude.
Would you not have sympathy for the skateboarder who broke her leg?
Don't have sympathy for the stall player with no win.
Better get a link on that blue on the right. So, for that. One damage. Defense. I'm still alive, folks.
I wish you would.
Ah! She wants to kill me.
Okay, no, but for real, what's your plan for coming back?
I do not have one. Yeah, look, before that last attack, I thought maybe I could draw it out. I think I may have to concede.
Yeah, no, I think this is a concede turn.
Alright. GG, everyone. GG.